Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is insanely exciting because heck, who doesn't love apes? King Kong was the America star.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my concern of this part is, do people still care about this IP ever since War for the Planet of the Apes? Without Caesar, which he died last movie, Andy Serkis was probably the star during that time. So I'm a little concerned of how it will do because of this IP. So
Yeah, I think that, I mean, this is a franchise that is, over 50 years old, right? This started back in the 60s. They started releasing these films, and there was a long period between that before they even really became successful again. You mentioned that trilogy that we had most recently in the teens. And those, obviously, the second one of that, was it War of the Planet of the Apes?
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes made 710 million worldwide. So that's a huge number. If this could get even to 500 worldwide, I think that would be a great place to start for Kingdom. Obviously, 20th Century and Disney and director Wes Ball, they want this to be a new trilogy. They have said as much. It's no surprise. It's not shocking to hear this from Disney. They want a new trilogy out of this, to say the least. So I think that number, if they got to 400 worldwide, this would get another sequel. So that's what they want. Apes has made over $2 billion worldwide. This franchise, it's legit. I think we what we saw with Godzilla X Kong and King Kong himself, you're right. This isn't King Kong, but it's very similar. Like, people love, to see these big apes on screen. And honestly, I think Godzilla X Kong will actually help this film because it's kind of phasing out now. If people want another dose of that, this is that film. And it's the first sequel of the summer. And it does scream, hey, welcome to the summer movie season. So I think that this has a lot going for it. Usually what we see in that second weekend, because a Marvel film kicks off the summer, we see some throwaways usually in that second weekend because they know they have to compete with the second week of a Marvel film, and that's usually not pretty. This is not the case here. Like I said before, I think Kingdom could have a bigger opening than Fall Guy if it does disappoint a little bit. These movies have been very steady, opening with around $60 million. So I don't think an opening of 50 million plus is out of the question here.
Yeah. So I wanted to throw out a question. You were at CinemaCon, right?
Yeah.
And just to get the buzz for this film, because look, I love buzzes as much as anyone, and a good buzz. You saw 13 minutes of this movie at Disney's panel. What are your thoughts, just to get people to let them know about this film? Because I heard amazing things of how this film was done. But what are your thoughts to 13 minutes of this movie they showed at CinemaCon?
It's interesting because it's a lot of CGI. I mean, but you can't, it's so well done that you can't tell that it is CGI. Obviously with the apes.
This is not green screen. They haven't shot most of that in green screen. They shot this in like realistic location, which is amazing.
Yeah, realistic locations, and then they CGI everything on there, and it's really well done. It's pretty seamless, and it's beautiful. That's the thing about this. This is going to be one of those films that you will want to see on the biggest screen possible because they did such a good job on it. They gave us about, I'll tell you this, they gave us the first like 8 minutes, I think, was this setup scene where they're trying to get an egg on the side of this mountain. And these apes are, and it was almost like watching a nature documentary. So it's a very different take on this Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because it's set 300 years after the last apes, right?
Right.
So the world has changed a lot since then. And it's kind of gone back to nature, right? And so you get that feeling because they give you this 8-10 minute kind of just, hey, these are apes and they're living their lives in nature. So it deals with the reality of that situation. It wasn't until the last few minutes that we got, okay, there's still humans here. Now there's ape on ape action, and there's some warring factions going on. And it gets pretty intense. So that's what I expect from this film. that it'll kind of set you in a place where you think everything's peaceful, and all of a sudden we're going to war, and that will build as this film goes. That's what Disney showed us. That's what it looks like. I think people will like this film. If you've liked any of the other Apes, you're gonna like this. Wes Ball, the director of Maze Runner trilogy. I think he's a really good director, and I think this is a great move for him, actually.
I cannot wait for him to do the Zelda films. Man, the Zelda film, it's going to be something. But looking out for West Ball for sure. I'm keeping my eye on this guy. And how he's going to do the Planet of the Apes movie, I think it's promising what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
I do too.
It's promising. Very nice. What is your prediction of opening number? I'm going to go, you said at making 50 above is no question. So I'm going to go for a 66.
Yeah, I like that number. I'm gonna go with the odds here. I'm gonna just lay it exactly at 60. I'm gonna go 60 million opening. That would be an amazing number.
That'd be amazing.
Pessimistically, I'm thinking somewhere in the 50s, but I would love to see it get into the 60s, and it might. We still haven't seen the full force of Disney's advertising on this thing, but we will in the next couple weeks.
Actually. They did. They had horses and actual people dressing up as apes.
Yeah.
On horses on the beach, because that's an interesting viral marketing right there.
Yeah.
They're getting the word on this.
They're getting it out, but we'll see that over the next couple. We'll see even more. It'll be on every TV show. Yeah. This is Disney. Disney knows how to market a summer film. And they don't have many of them. They only have 4 when you include Disney and 20th Century. So they're going to go all out on these. And of course, every film they're releasing this summer is a sequel. You got that right. That's what Disney does. They do it very well.
They do.